So our first lesson is going to be on the process of consecutive interpreting. What is consecutive interpreting? Consecutive interpreting means that you're going to first listen to the spoken message. You're going to comprehend it. You're going to analyze it. Then you're going to visualize it. Then you're going to reorganize it by using the time and the setting. Then you're going to deliver it. So the first thing we have to look at is our listening skills. While we're listening, we're going to be listening to the tone of the speaker. We're going to be listening to the speaker's register. We also need to look at ideas. Don't just listen to the words being said. Part of consecutive interpreting is to listen, comprehend, analyze. So you're actually getting the whole big picture to visualize, not just individual words as they're coming in. And while you're doing that, you're thinking of the context. How do we visualize in the interpreting process? Well, we have to think about the placement and location of persons and things that are being discussed. And again, that has to do with listening, comprehending, getting that picture, and then setting it up in front of ourselves. Remember your sign space. How are these things related? Are we talking about objects, the setting in your picture? Do you have to set things up? Do you have to have things in different areas? Are you going to use indexing? Are you going to use body shift? How are our classifiers? Are we going to use classifiers? If I'm talking about houses in a row, I would do house here, house here, or are they here? Again, which classifiers am I going to be using? And always remember, identify your object first before using the classifier. What is the action going to be? Are there going to be interactions with these things that I'm setting up? Or are some of them stationary and others going to be moving? Directionality. Am I going to be describing things? What kind of adjectives am I going to be using? Am I going to have to do characterization, personification, which is going to include our body shifts? What's the affect going to be? How's that going to play into our visualization? Now, once we set everything up in front of us, our visual picture, we now have to reorganize. How do we reorganize? Well, that whole idea of conceptualizing. You're creating the visual representation of the spoken word. And this is going to include your time and your setting. Yesterday, last year, long time ago, once upon a time. Now I'm going to tell you the story. Again, the visual representation of the spoken words, the spoken concepts, not just words. Now, how am I going to summarize all this information? Remember, from pre-interpreting skills, we look for the main idea, we look for the supporting facts. So now we've got our easel all painted with our nice, wonderful picture. And now we're going to have to listen to the concepts, listen to the ideas, summarize that, and be able to put up the main idea with the supporting facts. Next, we're going to be using our paraphrasing skills. What signs are we going to be using for meaning? What synonyms might be used in that place of that word? Are things happening in chronological order? Or are they happening this way? This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Past to present, is it happening in this sequence? And then after we get it all set up, we have all of our picture, we have our things established. Now we have to think about the target language. How we're going to represent this message. Be sure your grammatical structure is correct, your sign choices are correct. And as you learn in your advanced ASL class, no thought, just do. So we look at all this information. We have our source language, which is the interlingual skills that you've learned in pre-interpreting skills that you've been practicing in your advanced ASL class, the listen, comprehend, and visualize. How we're going to reorganize all that information using your summary skills, your paraphrasing skills that you learn in pre-interpreting skills. And now how all that's going to go into your target language. What things do you include? How do you interact with that setup? How do I use my body shifts? Am I talking about this thing over here, how it's related to this thing over here? Am I doing a time sequence into the future? Am I doing from past to present? And most important, be sure you're using the correct ASL grammar.